And the Arab soldiers are good soldiers, very good soldiers. And the Lebanese resistance and the Islamic resistance are excellent soldiers. But now you are facing a new technology. Okay. Maybe one day we'll have this technology. We'll fight them with their own weapons. We're not inferior and are not superior.
Who is left to protect Gaza and the Palestinians?
Nobody. Hezbollah is being disarmed. Is being disarmed by the Lebanese army. But I mean, also there is quite an anomaly, the ceasefire. There's a ceasefire from one side, our side. The Israelis are daily infringing the ceasefire, daily bombing and killing. We don't want their protection, and Israel doesn't protect anybody, historically speaking. So let them keep their nice feelings toward us. I mean, we don't want their nice feelings toward us. Well, we have to bring back, liberate the Golan. The Golan is occupied. Is this issue has been mentioned by the Trump, Mohammed bin Salman, al-Sharaa meeting? I don't know. As the Syrians still have occupied territories, the Golan, we still have also occupied territory, the south of Lebanon, part of the south of Lebanon. There is no more land. There's still some land in the West Bank. There is no peace. There is a systematic destruction, elimination of Gaza, with the parallel also happening in West Bank. Trump came and gave an order, in a way, or said, well, I want that and that. He got the biggest arms deal in history from the Saudis. And he's going now to Qatar and other countries. He will get billions and billions for his own economy and his own self. He's getting
his own pocket, yeah.
Yes.
We've met al-Sharaa twice now. What is your impression of the man?
I think he's very clever. He knows what he wants. A unified Syria. I went to Damascus to tell the Druzes of Lebanon, Syria and Israel that I recognize the legitimacy of the Damascus ruler. I did not go to the Jabal Druze, to Jabal Arab. I went to Damascus. And we are working with him on a way to incorporate Syrian Drews armed men and Syrian past officers, slowly but surely, into the new apparatus of the state.
Hello, my name is David Hearst and I'm the editor of Middle East Eye. It's my great pleasure to be in Beirut to interview a true icon of Lebanese political system, Walid Jumblatt. He is one of the foremost voices of the region. He's the leader of the Druze, and he's had a front row seat in many of the traumas that have shaken both Lebanon and the region. He led the Lebanese Resistance Front during the Civil War. He led the Progressive Socialist Party, which was an attempt to straddle the sectarian divide. More recently, he has met Syria's new leader, Ahmed twice. Walid Bek, can we start with Trump's dramatic announcement of lifting the sanctions on Syria? Is America, for once, doing the right thing?
It's excellent for the Syrian people to lift the sanctions after such long years, decades of tyranny. It's an excellent gesture towards Ahmed al-Sharaa, also a sign that Syria will stay united. It is great what Mohammed bin Salman, and I think somewhere Prince Mohammed, somewhere jointly with the Turks, did for the sake of a new Syria. It's a very important gesture, what happened today.
And it will also be very important for Lebanon, won't it?
Of course, we have to profit out of it, but as the Syrians still have occupied territories, the Golan, we still have also occupied territory, the south of Lebanon, part of the south of Lebanon. But I think now the new Middle East is taking shape. It's taking shape solidly. We have to know how to profit out of this opportunity.
What does the new Middle East look like?
It's dark as you see the question of Palestine, because I thought that Trump would mention something about Palestine, and he's the one who insists upon the so-called Abraham Accord. Nothing was mentioned. And the Abraham Accord, if you Go back to the Beirut initiative in 2000. Means land in exchange of peace. There is no more land. There's still some land in West Bank. There is no peace. There is a systematic destruction, elimination of Gaza, with the parallel also happening in West Bank. So why can't Trump stop this process? We'll see. We'll see. It's a big issue.
You've met Sharaa twice now. What is your impression of the man?
I think he's very clever. He knows what he wants. A unified Syria. Okay. He is trying, of course, to appease some fears inside Syria. Some fears are understandable. Others are not. Okay. But I mean, it's a new regime. It's a new regime. And don't forget that while he's ruling Syria, that has been ruled by the Assad for the last 53 years. And when you say the Assads, you say Hama, you say Homs, you say Homs, you say Aleppo, you say Saidnaya. It's a dark chapter. Up till now, is doing well, although there were some minor problems, and I say some minor problems.
In Latakia?
Yes, but don't remember, he hasn't been able now to imprison or to look all the people, main responsible torturers of the Syrian people by Assad. Assad father and Assad son.
What do you think is the price that he's had to pay for Trump's decision?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, from the story, not from the story, from the side of an old Arab nationalist, we have to bring back, liberate the Golan. The Golan is occupied. Is this issue has been mentioned by the Trump, Mohammed bin Salman, Sharaa meeting? I don't know.
His father came from the Golan. It was al-Jolani.
Yes.
In your meetings with him, did you request specific guarantees for the Syrian Drews community, and did he give them to you?
I went to Damascus to tell the Druzes of Lebanon, Syria, and Israel that I recognize the legitimacy of the Damascus ruler. I did not go to the Jabal Druze, to Jabal Arab. I went to Damascus. And we are working with him on a way to incorporate Syrian Druze armed men and Syrian past officers, slowly but surely, into the new apparatus of the state. This is the only way to calm some fears of the Druzes, and I think it would be the best way to calm the fears of the Alawites. As for the Kurds, it's another issue.
Israel pretends to be the protector of the Druze in the south of Israel.
We don't want their protection, and Israel doesn't protect anybody, historically speaking. So let them keep their nice feelings toward us. I mean, we don't want their nice feelings toward us.
But is there any support amongst the Druze in Syria for Israel?
The spiritual leader of Israel, the spiritual Druze leader of Israel, Sheikh Tarif, claimed at one time that he wants to protect the Druzes. Okay, now I think he made some steps back. He saw the bigger issue, and he's not Sheikh Tarif that can control, or how should I say, behave on the behalf of the Israeli state. He's too small to do it.
Why did the Druze have a pact with the Zionists even before the state of Israel was formed? I mean, there's this great saying, even today, that the Druze are equal with Jews on the battlefield, but they become Arabs when it comes to their own housing rights. They are discriminated against as are all non-Jewish citizens. But why did they form that pact? It's
an old relationship between the Zionist agency that was established between the Zionist agency and some Druze circles and some Druze sheikhs. It goes back to the late 1940s. And it went on. Then the State of Israel was created. And then there was a law in 1956 whereby Druzes, Circassians and Bedouins are obliged to serve into the Israeli army. So slowly they have been integrated, unfortunately.
But returning to Palestine, you and your father have been stalwart and brave
Yes.
anti-Zionists throughout your life. As someone with the Palestine issue absolutely burned into your soul and your heart, what is left for the Palestinians now after the horrendous scenes we've seen in Gaza and the horrendous scenes, the genocide that we're seeing in Gaza, but also now the West Bank?
It is the biggest injustice, starting the Balffor Treaty or the Balffor Promise in 1917. It's the biggest injustice towards the people. But I mean, this is when the best person that could explain that to you and to us was Edward Said. Edward Said. It's a colonial, ideological expansion, or expansion that takes into consideration, that considers Palestine as their holy land. It's a holy land for everybody. It's back to the century from starting the destruction of the Second Temple. And we are still in this vicious circle. But Zionism is increased this issue. Zionism was in the 19th century. And Zionism is created out of the Jews a nationality.
But if you consider who is left to protect the Gazans, there is Erdogan, who Trump says is a friend of his. There is Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. There is the Emiratis and the Qataris, but so far they pressurized Trump to do a U-turn on the bombing of the Houthis in Yemen. And so far they have succeeded in what is a big step in the recognition of Syria. But nothing has been done to stop the genocide in Gaza. Who is left to protect Gaza and the Palestinians?
Nobody. But I mean, I disagree with you when we say that, well, the Arabs and the Turks succeeded. Succeeded in what? Trump came and gave an order, in a way, or said, well, I want that and that. He got the biggest arms deal in history from the Saudis. Okay. And he's going now to Qatar and other countries. He will get billions and billions for his own economy and his own self. He's getting
his own pocket, yeah.
Yes. Turkey, something else. But I mean, yes, I agree with you that, well, we'll see. If these countries, these rulers can convince him after what he took, convince him about Palestine or remind him about Palestine. Personally, I doubt.
So do you think, as a long-time observer of this conflict, the seminal conflict of the Middle East, that Israel is on the verge of victory, or Zionism is on the verge of victory? Or do you think that the Zionist project is overreaching itself and will one day be doomed?
No, I think Zionism is not overreaching himself, okay? Because at the origin of the limits of the State of Israel, the State of Israel is a state without borders. So where are the new borders? Now, the new borders are the West Bank. Gaza will be totally eliminated, and I think the people there, Palestinian people, will be obliged to flee. Where? I don't know. The West Bank, next step, maybe the East Bank. They say that Moses is buried there somewhere. Who knows? Because you are dealing with history and ideology. We've got to read the Bible again.
So you think that Israel will succeed in forcing over 2 million Gazans to leave?
I'm afraid so. Nobody is daring to even denounce Netanyahu, except 1 week ago, or yesterday, Macron. It took some time for Macron to reach this level offense against what Netanyahu is doing. But he's the only one in the West.
Where do you see Lebanon right now? Are we seeing now the return of a sort of political Maronite influence under a sort of American, possibly Israeli tutelage? What is happening to Lebanon?
I don't see a Maronite influence or coming back to the old days. I see Lebanon should profit out of this opportunity. Okay, but the first step is liberate what is left of occupation and try to build a modern state. Try to build a modern state away from, how should I say, the old model. I mean, try to, if we can have a modern state, because we have modern elites. The Lebanese are elite everywhere. To have a deconfessionalized Lebanon, maybe.
Do you deconfessionalize Lebanon? Do you think the party that your father started, and that you led, would actually...
He believed in that. I still believe in that.
You still believe in a non-sectarian Lebanon?
Yeah.
How will that come about?
We have to change the constitution. We have to make also the religious groups of Lebanon or the religious establishment understand that it's for their sake and our sake. Why should we have confessionalism which is obstructing the unity of the Lebanese?
There was once in 1983 a normalization with Israel, and that didn't work. Is there a consensus in Lebanon to repeat that experience?
1982.
1982, sorry.
It was not very well studied. Okay, I'm just coming now from President Amin Ismail's place. We used to be adversaries, but we are friends nowadays, and we had a kind of conference or a kind of meeting whereby to discuss the future of Lebanon. Let's keep our stand with Israel as keep the armistice agreement. No war and no peace. No peace is safer for Lebanon than going to peace, and you don't know where you end up with peace with the Israelis.
On Hezbollah, there is a huge amount of American pressure to disarm Hezbollah. And yet, if I was living in the south of Lebanon, I wouldn't necessarily go to the Lebanese army for my protection if Hezbollah disarms. Do you think Hezbollah's disarmament is really on the table?
Hezbollah is being disarmed by the Lebanese army. But also there is quite an anomaly, the ceasefire. There's a ceasefire from one side, our side. The Israelis are daily infringing the ceasefire, daily bombing and killing. So this could lead to some troubles. And you cannot also say that, well, the Shiites as a community should be totally disregarded from the political scene. They are part of Lebanon from hundreds of years. But the Lebanese army is doing its job.
The former head of the army and now the president, Joseph Aoun, offered talks to Hezbollah on disarmament, which was a gesture I think that Hezbollah appreciated. Do you think those talks will come to some sort of...
It is very important to talk to them. It's very important also, if I was the decision maker, to incorporate the elements, the fighter of Hezbollah, inside the Lebanese army. This is a way to facilitate dialogue. Plus, reconstructing the South. Why should we link the reconstruction of the South to the rearrangement of the banking sector? We shouldn't. But up till now, Americans are forbidding any attempt to reconstruct, to give us money from the Arabs to reconstruct the South. The South, part of the southern suburbs, and Baalbek.
So the Americans are still playing the old failed game that they always did with Lebanon?
Nothing will change with the Americans. Nothing will change.
So what will change for Lebanon? Will it outgrow the American influence? They're
No.
still making the same mistakes as they did before.
Now with the new American imperial policy, now you have a You know, it's like Rome at one time, and Caesar came and changed the republic. Now there is no more American republic. You have Trump dictating.
But Israel will not leave those 5 posts in the south of Lebanon, and also Mount Hermon and a good part of Syria. That is now become greater. I mean, that is.
Yes.
I don't see that arrangement changing quickly.
This is the question: where does Greater Israel stop? Where are the limits of Greater Israel? We used to, a long time ago, we used to say the Great Israel. Okay, from the Nile to the Euphrates. It seems it's being slowly but surely accomplished.
Okay, let's put the question another way.
Yes.
What are the forces that would stop that project from being realized? Are they within Israel itself? Is it within Palestinian hearts that says, I will die on my land rather than leave?
They are dying. They are a remarkable people. Remarkable people. They are dying. But the balance of power is not in their sake, okay, in their favor. Arabs, I don't know. Arabs, I have no idea now. Okay. But still, I mean, it's been now 100 years, 120 years, the tragedy. It will continue for maybe 100 years more.
What, the Palestinian conflict?
Yes.
Yes.
Palestinian conflict plus the colonial project. It's not the Palestinian conflict. It's the colonial seizure of Arab land.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of the Crusades.
Yes.
One day they will leave.
So short term you're a pessimist, but long term you have that hope in your heart that one day this project will end.
I have to keep hope. I'm a realist now, but I have to keep hope, yes. But what is happening now is terrible and nobody's speaking about it.
If Hezbollah is indeed not defeated but severely weakened, where do you think Hezbollah went wrong in its calculations?
He thought, and part of the Lebanese thought, I was one of these Lebanese, that, well, an equilibrium of terror could be established and prevent Israel to attack. It proved to be nonsense, because we are fighting a totally new technology. They were fighting a totally new technology, which is Western technology. They had big gaps in their intelligence. On the ground, they fought very well, but the price of fighting very well was terrible on Shiite villages in the south and somewhere else. And they had also, I mean, when Nasrallah was killed, how much they were infiltrated by the enemy.
Did that happen during the Syrian civil war? How were they infiltrated? What's your intelligence?
No, I saw it here. I mean, when Nasrallah was killed here. But I mean, before his assassination, you had the question of the pagers. I mean, 4,000 or 3,000 pagers becoming explosives, and it was terrible failure of intelligence.
Well, where did that start, that failure of intelligence?
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you. I don't know. But somewhere, somebody, I think after their incursion in Syria, fighting the Syrian people and fighting the rebels in 2011 or 2012, or maybe, yes, I think they were slowly infiltrated and well, they didn't realize.
If you were a leader in Iran, what would be your calculation now with Trump and with Israel?
Well, they show every now and then new missiles, new weaponry. But I mean, I wouldn't advise them to go to that extent. I wouldn't advise to go to that extent and fight the Americans. Plus, you cannot also humiliate the Iranians. Again, it's a long civilization, old civilization. You have to respect their dignity. How to approach it Again, don't tell me. Maybe Mr. What's his name? The American envoy. Witkoff. Maybe he knows it. I doubt, but we'll see.
So you think Iran's best course of action is to do a deal with Trump and Witkoff on its nuclear program?
I think so. It's better. Better also for the people. Better for the people. But of course, it's not a... You have to know exactly also what are the real Israeli intentions. I mean, Netanyahu is dreaming for the last 20 years to engage the Americans' military against the Iranians.
But while you have in Israel in this frame of mind, which absolutely is a continuation and the logical extension of the whole project to set up this settler colonial state, nothing has changed since 1948 in that sense. But while you have in Israel, it is so military dominant and feels it can simply impress its will on the whole region and take parts of Syria, take parts of Lebanon, no one's going to stop it. There isn't going to be peace in this region.
Yes, but I mean, I disagree. I mean, it means that, well, the Arabs were not able to fight. We did fight. We did fight in 1956. We did fight in 1973. Okay. But then the West does not allow us, or is facing us. Okay. We had an ally at that one time, the Soviet Union, and the Arab soldiers are good soldiers, very good soldiers. And the Lebanese resistance and the Islamic resistance are excellent soldiers. But now you are facing a new technology. Okay. Maybe one day we'll have this technology. We'll fight them with their own weapons. We're not inferior, and are not superior.
I mean, specifically, do you support the demilitarization of the Palestinian camps in Lebanon?
One day, yes. One day, yes. But I mean, at the same time, when we say that, we have also to accept the fact that these people that came in 1948 from the Galilee, on part of Palestine, have no other place to go back. We should treat them as humans, not like some right-wing parties treat them as subhumans. We should treat them like human, giving the faculty of working, be ordinary citizens, yes.
Can I just press you a little bit more on the relationship you think that America will, or the role that America will play in the shape of the new Middle East? Because you're saying now it is a retreating empire. Trump is no lover of the Palestinians. He's doing this for commercial reasons which have absolutely nothing to do with people. He's being paid by personally and also receiving goods. So this is if this is a change in the region, it's not done by someone who's thought about the shape of the region. He's simply just thought about the next deal or how good one interview looks on television, and he's like a reality TV president. Now, what effect is that sort of chaotic management going to have on the region as a whole?
But they are not retreating. You said that they are retreating from the region. No,
they're not retreating. No,
they are everywhere. Their bases. They have invaded the region and do profit of the chaos in the region, and make deals. And it's an area whereby, well, we have the big resources, rich resources, and the curse of oil. Sometimes oil can benefit, sometimes oil is a curse.
So how do you see the region developing under these new set of circumstances?
When you have a region with this antagonism inequalities between rich people and poor people, it cannot but lead to troubles. When you have a region also with, look at Iraq, and look at Lebanon also, but with full of, how should I say, corruption, how can you have stability? With one day, my father at one time thought about an Arab economic entity, okay, but with freedom and democracy. So to be able to profit out of our wealth and distribute adequately our wealth. But It failed. It was an old dream. It failed. Now we are under the dictatorship of the Americans. The West and the Americans, next door, the Israelis.
And that will continue. So fundamentally you're saying the actual parameters of the region and the real things that govern it will not change.
And unfortunately not now. Not now.
Walid Bek, thank you very much.
Peace.